Scientists have spotted something out of this world, a mysterious skull hill. Let's deep dive.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're heading to Mars, specifically looking at something pretty intriguing found by NASA's Perseverance rover.
That's right. We're talking about Skull Hill. Quite the name, isn't it?
It really is. It's this unusual rock formation they spotted in the Port Anson region, right there on the edge of Jezero Crater.
And what makes it stand out, really stand out, is how different it looks from everything around it.
Exactly. The sources describe it as really dark, quite angular.
Yeah, and it's got these pits on the surface. It's sitting amongst these much lighter colored rocks. So the contrast is, well, it's stark.
Like finding a piece of charcoal on a white sandy beach almost.
Good analogy. And then there's other weird stuff nearby too, like tiny little balls, spherules in the soil, the regolith adds to the whole picture.
So NASA's initial thought is, okay, maybe this Skull Hill is a float rock.
Which basically means it didn't form right there where we see it now.
Right, it got moved somehow,
Right.
transported, maybe by some ancient flood or an impact, who knows?
So the big questions are, what is it originally? And how did it get there?
And the name Skull Hill, that comes from those dark pits, right? They kind of look like...
Like eye sockets, yeah. It's certainly memorable.
NASA has a couple of ideas about how those pits form, doesn't it?
Uh-huh. Could be erosion, maybe bits of softer rock, clasts, weathered away, leaving the holes.
Or maybe just the wind. Mars has some serious wind.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wind scouring over, millions, maybe billions of years could absolutely sculpt something like that.
Okay, so that's the look of it. But the origin, that's the real puzzle. One big theory is it could be a visitor from space.
A meteorite. Yeah, that's a strong possibility, mainly because of the color.
That dark color again.
Exactly. It reminds scientists of other dark rocks found by the Curiosity rover over in Gale Crater.
And those turned out to be?
Meteorites, rich in iron and nickel. So you see a dark rock like Skull Hill, and meteorite comes to mind pretty quickly.
Imagine that a piece of some asteroid or maybe even another planet just sitting there.
It would be an incredible find. A piece of the solar system delivered right to the rover.
But there's a catch, isn't there? The initial analysis nearby.
Right. The chemistry of the surrounding rocks, the immediate area, hasn't really screamed meteorite yet. No strong iron-nickel signal that locks it down.
So the dark color is suggestive, but it's not conclusive proof on its own.
Not yet, anyway. Which brings us to the other main hypothesis.
That it's actually Martian.
That it could be an igneous rock formed from Mars' own volcanic processes.
Okay, so like cooled magma or lava?
Precisely. Molten rock that cooled and solidified. We know Mars had volcanic activity, and these kinds of rocks often contain dark minerals. Things like olivine, pyroxene.
Which would explain the dark color we see in Skull Hill.
Exactly. It fits the visual profile, too. And finding an ancient igneous rock there could tell us heaps about early Mars.
Especially in Jezero Crater, where we think there was once water. Volcanic activity plus water? That's interesting.
Very interesting. It hints at potentially habitable environments in the past.
So if it is igneous, it's like a piece of Mars's own history, maybe broken off from bedrock somewhere else, thrown by an impact, or just exposed over time.
It would be a sample of the planet's early crust from that specific region, which is incredibly valuable data.
And this is where Perseverance really shines, right? It has the tools to actually analyze the rock itself.
Oh, absolutely. Its instruments can get detailed chemical composition. That's the next step. Zap it with lasers, analyze the dust, figure out what it's made of.
So there's a good chance we'll actually figure this out. Distinguish between meteorite and Martian rock.
There's a lot of optimism, yeah. The data coming back should hopefully give us a much clearer answer.
It's just fascinating that this one sort of creaky-looking rock
Oh, yeah, the skull.
could hold such big clues about Mars, either telling us about visitors from space or about the planet's own fiery youth.
It really underscores why we explore. Every rock tells a story, and understanding places like Jezero Crater piece by piece helps us build that bigger picture of Mars' evolution.
And its potential for life, past, or maybe even present.
That's the ultimate goal.
So as we wait for Perseverance to work its magic on Skull Hill, here's something for you to think about. What difference does it make? If it's a meteorite, what does that specific piece tell us about the wider solar system? And if it's Martian igneous rock, what does that reveal about the conditions on early Mars right there in Jezero? Lots to ponder.
Definitely. Awaiting that data eagerly.
Actually, what it is. Comment your thoughts on this story. Thanks.